Alright guys, well, I got these things out of the car and I've found a failure, and this is due to mistakes on my part. The biggest mistake, I didn't degas this, and this was one of them. I had the most air bubbles, I reckon. Probably, I mean, you can, I don't know, you see them in this video or not, but it's, you know, there are little air bubbles all in it. Not so much in the upper part here, because when it was in the mold, of course this was up, this was the lower part, it was down under the lip in the mold, so the bubbles had nowhere to go. There's signs of bubbles up in here in the top, but you know, not so much around this part, but definitely here, there it is, and it definitely failed because of that. I'm hoping this will show up good in the video. I don't know. This one, not so bad, but I guess maybe there was less in it. This was the first one I poured. I can tell by the amount that it just had come to the very tip top of the piece, but didn't come through the spout for where I poured at. I think I mentioned that. Or this one did, and it extended out of the spout just a little, and I had to cut it off. This one came right exactly to the top without needing to cut it off. So this was the first one. I guess this batch, maybe I didn't stir as hard or something. I don't know. It's possible, because it seemed like I remember this felt like it was getting thick on this one while I was mixing it. I think I did start, you know, agitating it pretty heavily, and I may have introduced more bubbles into it. But that's alright, you know, experiments are what they are, because this is how they came out. They were perfect, you know, just about as good as could be. But they turned into this from air bubbles, and also I don't think the durometer of this is hard enough. I'm thinking maybe a 60D, which is a very, very hard, durable material. I was reading up on it from let's see, I'm sorry, I can't recall the name. I'll look it up and let you know. It was a supplier, and then there's of course McMaster-Carr is where this came from. This was the 60. You know, they also make the 80A. I'd have to look and see about a 60D. But looking at some videos and stuff, I think maybe 60D might be good. It's a harder stuff. It's supposed to support weight and whatnot. No. Again, I'll look that up, maybe put a link to it again. I was just reading about some of the stuff this morning. But that's what these turned out to be. Junk. That's not saying the design's not bad or is bad. It's my technique. I screwed up. So anyway, my next project now is to build a vacuum machine, vacuum chamber. Trying to round up a pot big enough, and a piece of acrylic and whatnot, the pieces I need to hook up the vacuum pump to, which I have a vacuum pump, so no problem there. I'm trying to get out as cheap as possible. Of course, that's me, that's what I do. So I'll try and scrounge around and find some junk that'll work to put it together. And once I do, and as I'm getting that together, I'm going to keep researching on what product to use for these things. Oh man, let me tell you, that trip to Reynolds over into Orlando yesterday was a total waste of time. Yeah, on their video it sounded all great. They experts can tell me anything I need to know about their product. I go over and ask them some few simple questions like, well, what's the demold time? How long does it have to set before I can take it out of the mold? I know it takes 16 hours to cure, blah, blah, blah. Well, I don't know. You might be able to if it starts feeling hard, you know, hard enough to take out. You know, maybe. I said, well, I guess I could, you know, mix up a little extra, and then what's left, I could, you know, use it as a gauge. Yeah, that might work. Yeah, blah, yeah. The lady was real nice, but she did not know any more about that product than I already knew myself just from reading the website. She had said she was going to print me out a the tech specs and stuff on on that. I said, oh great, that'd be perfect. That's probably exactly what I need. She hands me the papers. It's the same thing I just read on the website, but you know, the questions I had weren't answered on the website, and she didn't have the answer to. So their ad was just some fluff to get you to come in their store. They didn't have the stuff in. I was looking at that. What a PMC 770. Yeah. And I felt a sample piece of that. Well, that's a possibility. That stuff, it's hard. You know, I mean, it does have some give, so it's not like solid, you know, or you know, plastic hard. You know, but it is definitely hard at 70D, harder than this stuff. Maybe not as hard as this original. I know this has got this on it, but still, I mean, you can feel the rubber itself. It's still, even after all these years, it's very hard. So, but this is, you know, like I said, maybe a 60D. That A and that D is a big difference between a 60A and a 60D. But a 60D does have flex to it, but it's very hard. And this does have flex to it, but it's very hard. As you see, this here is close, kind of, but more flex for sure, more give. Definitely not as rigid piece feeling. Neither of these. So I'll keep researching and go from there, but definitely get a vacuum chamber built, and I'll get another set of these made pretty soon for another test. But you know, I think that was the key. I think just use the right stuff and degas it, make sure there's no bubbles in it, and I think they'll be fine, because this one here obviously had less bubbles and it's held up okay, but it's not, you know, that's getting pretty thin right there. It's just where it smushed it out because there was bubbles in it. So with bubbles between the molecules, you know, it didn't bond well together, so it didn't form a good cast. This and more bubbles, so it just squished it right on out. You know, those bubbles inside with the weight popped, and so the urethane just simply came apart. You see this part up here where there is no bubbles is very good. And again, on the tip, you can, probably not in this video, you'll not be able to see them, I doubt, but there is, especially if I don't get it up here in the camera, there is signs of bubbles. And this one, some too, not quite as many, but there are signs. I don't know again if you'll be able to see it or not, but oh well. So back to the drawing board, but they're coming. You know, so let me get them perfected and find out what to use. But I think this would have worked, but I still think it ought to be harder. It would have worked if it had been degassed, you know. But you can see the difference maybe here. That's how it squished it out, and it shouldn't have done that. Yeah, see, it's bigger. Sorry, man, this camera, I don't know. Trying to get this on turned. I can't hardly see the image in it, but and it was exact, you know. Of course, it was exactly like this. It's just smushed out. But okay, well, that's it for now. But I'll get back to you when I figure out what I'm going to get and get it ordered. Probably order a small size of it first, and give it another trial. But we'll see where it goes from here. But it shouldn't be too long. I should be able to get these things sorted out and start making them. I mean, I know the concept's good, the mold is good, the pieces come out right to begin with. It's just finding the right material to use for them, and doing the proper techniques by degassing this. I don't know why I didn't think of it, but I don't think it said nothing about it in the book on it. It may have, I don't know. Yeah, oh well, it's my fault. But yeah, that was just well, that comes with trial and error, as they say. Yeah, it comes with trying to do things you've never done before. Oh well, later.